Hey, did I ever tell you about my irrational fear of good things that begin with the letter T? It's not too important. Anyway, let's see what we're talking about today. Terraria. One of my favorite games of all time, barely being beaten out by Mario Galaxy 2 and Eminem's Kart Racing. But you might say, isn't that just 2D Minecraft?
No, you tard! What do you think you're saying?
Today, I'm going to tell you why you should play Terraria. First, I should probably explain what the hell a Terraria even is. Terraria is a sandbox game released in 2011 in the same vein as Minecraft. However, this does not make it a carbon copy. In Terraria, you mainly fight bosses to progress. To do so, you have to explore underground to find items and materials, and on your journey, you will also have to build housing for NPCs that will assist you by selling items or healing. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's go deeper. Let's talk more about that gameplay. Because everyone knows the 12th best thing about video games is actually playing them. Terraria has one of, if not the most satisfying gameplay loops I have ever experienced. I can't really explain it, but there is just something really satisfying about exploring a new world and finding the same loot for the 100th time. There's just something about it that makes you want to progress and explore, and when you do, it feels amazing. Terraria is honestly one of the only games I restart often. And I don't think I'm the only one either. However, I'm gonna be completely honest. If you're just getting into Terraria, you might be visiting the wiki a lot. The game is simple enough that people can understand the basics, but when you look deeper into it, it gets kinda complicated and intimidating. The first thing you'll probably notice is that you spawn in with copper tools already. This is because in Terraria, your hands are useless. I knew it. Next, you'll either start chopping down trees, or if you're insane, you'll start digging underground. You also might notice someone else spawned in with you. This is the guide. He is your first NPC and the one who'll help you survive the early game. After you're done chopping down trees and building a box, you'll see enemies in the form of slimes. Attacking them seems like the best course of action, so you do. And... whoa. Yeah, your sword's not that great. So now what? Upgrade it. Okay, what next? Upgrade more things. After your first day in Terraria, you'll start to notice a pattern. You need to become stronger. To do that, you need to explore, and then you fight bosses to become even stronger and explore even more. It's honestly set up really well, since you know what the adventure will be like in your first 10 minutes. So let's touch on the two biggest parts of Terraria: exploration and combat. Exploring in video games is something that can be difficult to make enjoyable. You have to make the player want to explore, give them a reason to risk dying over it. I think Terraria does this perfectly. Instead of automatically going down, most players will probably go to their left or right. The biomes in those directions are filled with strong enemies that will kill you 100% of the time. So you have no choice but to eventually go down and start mining. This is a really effective way of guiding the player without telling them anything directly. Underground in Terraria is also split up into biomes, but in the beginning it seems safer than exploring above. Then you start to find traps. Picture this. You're exploring a cave system, you found some pretty cool loot, and then... yeah, touching a boulder means instant death, but I think that it's a pretty funny way to teach a player to watch their surroundings. Next, let's talk about combat. Terraria's combat is split up into 4 main classes. They are as follows: Warrior, Mage, Ranger, and Summoner. Each class has its own weapons, accessories, and armor, as well as type of damage. While Warrior and Ranger are pretty self-explanatory, just using melee weapons and ranged weapons like guns or bows, Mage and Summoner are a bit different. In Terraria, you have mana in addition to your health. Magic and summon weapons both use mana to attack. Mage weapons use mana to shoot out magic damaging shots, whereas Summoner weapons summon a minion to assist the caster in battle by doing summon damage. You can get Warrior and Ranger weapons really quickly, but Mage and Summoner weapons are a bit harder to come by. I like playing Mage because I hate myself. Your goal for the combat portion of Terraria is to beat all the bosses in-game.
Terraria's got so many bosses to fight.
While exploring, you'll come across an item that summons a boss. The Eye of Cthulhu is most likely the first boss you'll fight. It is exactly what it sounds like. A big eye. If you try to activate it during the day, nothing will happen, so it teaches you that you have to fight bosses at night. The Eye of Cthulhu flies around, occasionally charging at the player. Most players die their first time around and have to go back to preparing. The smartest thing to do would be building an arena to avoid its attacks. Beating your first boss not only makes you feel really great, but also makes you strong enough to visit the biomes on your left and right. Terraria does a great job at teaching the player things by just throwing stuff at them to overcome. This way of teaching makes the player feel independent, but it also made me want to play the game even more. I got into Terraria in April of 2015, when it was free on the Xbox 360. My brother was sick that day, so he downloaded it while I was at school. When I got home, he showed it to me, and we instantly had a blast playing. It was during a time that I had nothing else to worry about, so playing Terraria was what took up most of my free time. Terraria is the only Xbox Live Gold game I've played for over 30 minutes. No, that's not a joke. I ended up liking it so much I bought it again 3 times. No, that's not a joke either. Across all platforms, Terraria is probably my most played game of all time. Even beating out Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition, which was the shit. Sadly, Terraria will soon be receiving its final update, Journey's End. But where the developers fall, the fans rise. Terraria has a huge and active modding community that is always pumping out mods. Now there are a ton of good Terraria mods, but there are a few that are just amazing. These mods feel like actual updates and add so much to the game it almost doubles in length. These mods are called Thorium and Calamity. Thorium is more similar to the base game, whereas Calamity is considerably more difficult, so they don't really mesh well together when they're activated at the same time, but I do think there's a mod you can get that helps with that. Both of them add tons of new items, ore, armor, weapons, bosses, biomes, and even entirely new classes to the game, and these mods show how amazing a group of dedicated fans can be. I've played through all of Thorium and most of Calamity, and it honestly does not feel like I was playing a mod. They're so polished, which is not something I can see with most other game mods, and they don't feel fake. It was truly incredible. Terraria is one of those once-in-a-lifetime games that if I could relive my first time playing it, I would in a heartbeat. The game has given me some of my fondest memories and has even given me some of my closest friends. Talking about it definitely made me feel better, but I need to think of a way to get over my fear.